I used to be an adventurer like you, and I took an arrow in the knee.
I took an arrow to the knee. I took an arrow to the knee. I took an arrow to the knee. I took an arrow to the knee. I used to live in Daggerfall until I answered Destiny's call. Packed my stuff and left for Skyrim, but ended up in Helgen with my neck resting in a guillotine. The end of me, it would seem, but then again, who could ever foresee? I take an arrow to the knee. I took 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 an arrow to the knee. Long ago I was enrolled in the College of Winterhold, paying my own way with the gold I earned working in the Thieves Guild, but I never ended up with a degree. I had to drop out of school early. My life changed oh so suddenly when I took an arrow to the knee. 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 I chased spiders to spider holes. I fought giants and I fought frost trolls. I stood up to the Imperials. I killed the dragons with the Elder Scrolls. I used to be so wild and free, and now I wander aimlessly. Adventure was stolen from me when I took an arrow to the knee. I took an arrow to the knee. I took an arrow to the knee. I took an arrow to the knee.
Your fanac. Hello, everyone. Can you hear Morgan's fanac?
No, they can't hear it. Or they already
I
know.
can't. I can't hear it. It's fine.
Hell yeah.
Well,
Video
that-
broadcast.
just knowing
keep me
that
cool.
it's there kind of bothers me. If you don't mind turning it off.
Oh, I do. I mind very much.
All right. I had to try.
Yeah.
I have an important question because every time I do fan mail, this is for the audience. Every time I do fan mail, I look at my level meters. I've got my Go XLR now. It all looks pretty. Everyone's hitting the same levels. And then I listen back to it later. And I'm really loud. And you can't hear anyone else at all. They're just like, hello, my name is Morgan. So
Crank us
tell...
up. You want me to crank myself up?
I think that's what I've done. I just want to know, how's everyone sounding? Am I too loud? Are they too loud? Am I too quiet? Are they too quiet?
They're going to tell you it sounds good, and then you're going to get to re-listen to it, and you're going to be like, oh, this is hella quiet.
I know, that's the problem. But I can only ask the question, so I'm just going to ask up front. But
Oh, he's good.
Can't hear James eating oatmeal. Must be okay.
Okay. Well, hopefully then...
My oatmeal's almost done, but I gotta let it cool. It's so hot right now that if I had it in my mouth,
Why'd you make it right at 10 o'clock?
I made it at 9:55. It was just too hot at 10 to eat.
Okay, you got to give yourself more time.
Let me put it in my mouth now.
I got to go.
Well, things you never thought you'd hear James say.
Let me put it in my mouth now. No, I had Cinnamon Toast Crunch about 15 minutes ago, and every bite I took, I thought of Morgan. And what? I was doing it for you. I wanted oatmeal, but
You
I
were eating
settled for
cinnamon toast crunch for me.
because it was too late to have oatmeal. It would have been too
Oh.
hot, and I would have been eating it now.
What have you been doing all morning?
Thank you for asking. I took a bike ride to the hardware store to buy caulk because tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. I'm redoing my floors.
This is a long story, but I'm sure he'll tell you if you ask nicely.
That's the abridged story, but I'll save you.
What is the caulk for?
Well, here's the thing. Do you remember my floors? Were you here when it
Yeah.
was still carpeted? Yeah.
Yeah.
The carpets were nasty. So we
I
pulled
know
them
you
up,
pulled
and it's
them
got
out.
this nasty floor
Uneven.
that's from like 1910, and it's uneven,
Uh-huh.
right? The caulk, miraculously, if I use my finger to just guide it across, I can even out the whole floor with caulk. And tomorrow, I'm laying linoleum over it.
Not even Pergo, you're laying linoleum?
What is Pergo? There was another option.
Those interlocking like boards?
No, it's not the interlocking boards. They're kind of interlocking. They're like soft. They're soft boards.
So it is Pergo.
Oh, yes, it's Pergo.
Yeah, linoleum is like that sheet. You buy a sheet of it, and then like maybe any kitchen that you were in from the 70s would have had linoleum.
This is the interlocking stuff, but it's not the hard
So you're
interlocking. It's
vinyl
the soft
flooring.
interlocking. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's tomorrow. That's tomorrow.
Pergo is like the Kleenex of vinyl flooring.
Please don't say that. I spent like $800 on Pergo.
Did you buy Pergo or vinyl flooring?
Well, it's not the brand Pergo, unless that's the French
Then you
way of
didn't buy
saying
Pergo.
linoleum floor.
You're not going to level your floor out with caulk, right?
I suppose I was about to ask, can you level the floor with caulk? Because I don't.
No, you could if you had enough of
Morgan,
it.
Morgan says you can't, but I'll tell you what, I've already leveled about a 1 foot by 1 foot square of my apartment with caulk.
Okay, James, you know that the problem with caulk is that it's soft, right?
Well, that's just what I was coming on to now. I'm not an expert. I dabbled in repairs and maintenance for a little while, and my instinct tells me that trying to level a floor with caulk is a bad idea.
Yeah, wouldn't you use like wood putty or like there has to be some kind of like? I mean, I'll Google it. I'm gonna get.
Well,
in trouble.
I hired a guy off Angie's List, and he came in. He's like, "Well, what kind of floor are you thinking about? Are you thinking about a caulk floor?" It's like that sounds nice on my feet. So, but then I just took his idea and I'm running with it.
I mean, Kamikaze Ice has a great point. You can absolutely caulk a floor to level it. It's just the question is, should you? And will you get the desired results?
Oh, wait, okay, wait. There might be some. Are you using something called leveling compound, or are you using caulk?
I'm using caulk. I've got.
Hey,
Okay.
I have the
follow-up
option.
question: why are you not using the stuff that's made for it?
yeah, there are solutions for this. Is it because it's cheaper? And how many
It's not
tubes have
because
you?
it's cheaper. It's because I had about 15 minutes this morning to get to the bike shop, and not to the bike shop, to the hardware shop on my bike. And it was like supermarket sweep at the hardware store of what to do. And I settled.
Why
with caulk.
was it like that?
This
I
is
don't know.
You Google it yesterday or something.
I
just
think
looked
about
at it.
until about
I
10
know more
o'clock
about
at
flooring
night.
right now just from this conversation. I just looked at a website and now I know more than you. It's been 2 seconds.
Here's what's amazing to me, right? Caulk comes in tubes, right? Squeezy tubes that you put in a
Squeezy
gun,
floor
in a,
tubes. Yes.
Yeah, well, not in floor tubes. You
No,
put them in.
not floor tubes.
You put them in
No.
a caulking gun, so you can do things like caulk the seal on your bathtub and things of
Yeah,
that
that's
nature.
why I had,
That
that's
is
why
what
I
caulk
had
is
some
for.
on hand.
Yeah.
That's why I had some on
So
hand.
here's James on a bicycle with a backpack full of tubes of caulk that he's just swiped into his bag so that he can literally caulk the floor of his apartment. And it boggles
You know
the
what?
mind. I don't
Here's the
understand
thing,
what you're
is
trying to do.
There's book smarts that Morgan has just acquired by looking it up online, and then there's experience, which is what I'm having in
Have you
real
ever
time.
caulked anything in your whole life?
Yeah, I've caulked a bunch of stuff.
Have you
Mostly
ever then
bathtubs and
walked
stuff
over it?
like that.
Have you ever
What?
walked on top of the
Not
caulk?
once. Not once.
Okay, yeah, weird.
How do you
Interesting.
caulk a floor though? It comes out in like a thin line.
He's
How are you going to?
He's
He's
going to
cut.
put it
He's
out
going to
there,
cut
and
the
then he's
tube
gonna
open,
rub it out with
and then
a-
just pour the. Yeah, he's going to pour it
a
all over
putty
the
knife,
floor,
yeah.
and then put it. Yeah.
It's exactly what I'm gonna do.
And then he's going to put the floor on it, and then he's going to start walking on the floor, and then it's going to start separating, and he's going to
And,
go, oh
it's
shit,
go-
and
it's
then he's
gonna
going to
always-
pull the wood up because he's going to have to redo it, and then he's going to pull the caulk up, and that's going to pull up half the wood, then he's going to have to start all over again.
You want to be careful the wood doesn't bind to the cork or the underlay doesn't
It's
bind
going
to the
to,
cork.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not going
And that's
to.
going to rip up
dries
all the
all
lead
the way.
paint that's
Like,
on that
shouldn't
floor.
it dry?
Oh no, he's all right. He's already off the lead paint. That's gone.
It dries soft, James. It doesn't dry hard.
What?
Like say, like I don't know. I would probably use whatever this stuff is. DAP flexible floor patch and leveler, 32-ounce gray patching compound.
So this is funny that you say that. I bought that brand, but I bought that brand of caulk that was for decks and making creaky floors not be creaky.
So it's not caulk.
It's a what is it?
Do you
It
have-
comes in
do
a
you-
caulk tube.
do
It
you
comes
have
in a
the-
caulk tube, and I'm
do you
going
have
to
the
shoot it with a
tube?
caulk gun.
Do you have the tube with you? Is it around? Show us. Let's
Yeah.
see what. Let's see
Yeah.
what you've done. Let's have a look at what you've done.
I'll bring him. Calm down.
Here we
everybody.
go.
Calm down.
Here we go.
Oh, I would have got some of these Drycore 1-inch by 2 foot by 4 foot premium subfloor specialty panels.
Nice. I'd have bought some of them too.
Built it up.
I'm not doing any floor. I mean, look, I've got laminate flooring. Look at how beautifully done this is. I didn't use any caulk to do this. No
18
caulk.
tips
This
for
is not
working with
gaming
self
content.
Well, and who's,
Unless
let's
we're
see it.
doing that. What is that house renovation game? So there's two kinds I bought. One is DAP.
Why?
And it
Don't
is
mix and match what you bought. Only use one or the other. That's my other tip.
ideal for wood, composite, and PVC. And it's
Let's see.
DAP, superior flexibility, and crack proof.
What?
For window, door, siding, and trim.
Yeah. For sealing windows, ceiling doors.
Yeah, and then I
frames.
got liquid nails, subfloor, and deck.
that
Eliminate
is
squeaky
more-
floor, bonds wet and frozen lumber. I don't know why you'd want to put frozen lumber.
that sounds like an adhesive.
Yeah.
Hold it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Subfloor deck.
Liquid nails. And what's the other one? Hold out.
Yeah, the other one is
Yeah,
called
that
DAP.
one is legit not the right stuff, but he's already got it loaded up, so he won't unload it.
It's too late.
That's legit
Too
corking
late.
it. That's corking a cork going right there, boys and girls.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you're
I
trying
hate
to do.
everything.
Maybe
Yeah.
they should remake Home Improvement and just cast James. I think it would be.
What about this
Phenomenal.
self-leveling underlayment? Did you try that?
I don't even know what or where you'd find that.
It looks like
So
a
here's-
bucket of stuff that you mix up and then you just
That's what you want.
dump
Yep.
it down onto these wire frames.
Liquid nails
Yeah,
by.
well,
by
I don't have you've seen my apartment. There's no wire frames that I'm going to be pouring that over.
No, you'd have to you have to put the wire frames in. They're not. God damn it!
This is-
You would.
you are going to destroy your apartment.
Yeah, you're
He's going to destroy his apartment.
really-
He's literally he's gonna put cork all over his floor and then bond.
You guys are all going to eat your wood. You guys are gonna all eat your wood.
You're then
from
gonna-
rolling around my
you're gonna-
sweet new linoleum floor.
You're gonna bond your expensive flooring to the cork using no more nails or liquid nails, as it is that you bought, which is a very strong adhesive. So you're never going to be able to separate the two.
Well, you want to know the truth? Is it's still an improvement over my original plan, which my original plan was to take bubble wrap and stuff it into the little cracks and duct tape over it to make a nice flat seal.
Oh,
which-
there's another way that you can do it with it looks like some kind of this like sand leveling stuff.
I thought about getting sand from the beach. Go on.
Yeah, so they're covering the floor with plastic sheeting after doing some of that liquid nail stuff if you have like, creaky whatever. And then they put the plastic sheeting down, then they use that sand stuff, then they level it out, and then they put the floor over it.
You're on the
I'm not
ground
gonna
floor,
have
right?
time for that. I got 1 day
Yeah,
to
he's
get
on the
this
ground
floor
floor.
done.
So you got a concrete
Why?
floor.
Why?
That's the challenge.
You're not gonna get paid. That's the challenge. Okay. Well, let's move on. This is a nightmare.
I gotta put this cock away. Give me 1 second. And don't say anything bad about how dumb I am while I'm gone.
We've been saying it to your face.
I am genuinely scared he's going to destroy his apartment.
Oh, he will.
This is not good. Thank you, John. John's loving GPW. We'll be getting more of that soon, hopefully. Thank you.
James, when he had his carpet, maybe, oh God, it felt like every 3 months he would rent a steam cleaner from the grocery store and steam clean all the carpets in the house, and it was like a big to do.
And it was awful.
Was it every 3 months? I feel like you were always doing
6
it.
months. It
I felt like every time I came over, you were like, "I'm steaming."
I hate carpet. It's the worst.
I mean, I prefer wood floor to carpet, but having said that, I prefer, carpet to completely destroying my floor with no more nails. Kamikaze says next week James can't record because he's fixing his house. That's not too far from the truth. Next week James won't be able to record because he won't have a house. He'll have destroyed it and it will have been repossessed by the landlord.
The thing is that James will get this done. He's going to do it however he's going to do it. It's going to turn out not good, but he'll just live with it. It'll be fine.
You know it's going to turn out good. What do I do that ever turns out bad? Install Windows? Come on.
I mean, the floor is like, if there's give, like that floor is going to separate.
It's going to take. There's give and take in the world.
And what are you doing about, so like the, your baseboards are just like 1x4s mashed into the wall.
Yeah.
Are you taking those off and then putting the floor down and then putting those back on?
No, what I'm going to do is put it up close. I'm going to put it as close to those walls as possible. And I've bought cornering. And I'm going to put cornering.
You're going to double down. You're going to lower the square footage of your entire place.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to have 2 baseboards.
Yeah. This is, you rent this place, don't you, James? You don't own it.
Come on, guys.
You rent it because everyone in the chat's like, I mean, does he even have permission to do this? Does he? He's renting.
They refuse to do it for me. We even offered to pay them to do it, and we can't get them to do it. So I've been put in a position where I've got to do it. I could hire somebody myself to do it, but instead, if I can't give my money to the landlord to have him do it, I'm just going to get it done.
So basically,
do you have a chop saw for cutting those corners?
I don't know what a chop saw is, but I have a utility saw.
What?
Morgan, you need to get around there and save the situation. I'm
not going with 20 miles of this thing.
Is that how far away you are? I need to get it. I'm trying to get this triangulated here.
Wait, you have like a one of those like it's a flat blade that vibrates back and forth?
Yes.
Okay, that's not the right tool for the job.
That's the tool I watched on a YouTube video.
For cutting corners for baseboards?
Yeah, to put the floors underneath, to make sure that it goes underneath where like a door threshold, not threshold, a door like the jam.
No, I'm talking about where you're putting those strips to like cover up the unfloored gap that will inevitably be created when those meet at 2 corners. Gap?
What do you mean?
Okay, you do the floor, and then you're going to get as close to the baseboards as possible.
Uh-huh.
And then there's going to be a small gap. And you're going to cover that with the whatever the things that you got, right?
What is the small gap from? Fill the gap in, right?
No, you don't. There needs to be a
utility knives, and I'm going to be cutting this flooring so that it matches exactly.
Okay, here's the problem with that. Heating and cooling will expand the flooring, and if you get it too close, it'll expand and then it'll all buckle.
Well, that's good to know. Well, now I'm not going to put it that close. I'll keep it a little...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so you're going to put a little strip to cover up that little space that you're leaving for expansion. Good that you're doing it when it's hot, I guess, except for unless it contracts enough that you can see it under the edge. How are you going to get those 2 corners to mash up? How are you going to cut those angles?
You're talking about.
Let me get me the camera.
I feel sick. All right, can we move on?
This is a nightmare. Guys,
I have no idea what you're doing, and it's terrifying.
You know, I've spent my whole life not knowing what I was doing, and I'm living large. Okay,
It'll
they
be
call it the
fine.
good life.
I'm really excited for. Can we get some before and after pictures for the Discord?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. I exaggerate some things for comedic effect. I'm not caulking the entire floor. There's a couple of spots that have like little divots that are about as deep as my thumb is thick, and probably about 2 fingers wide.
I
And
assumed
that's
you
the
were
places that
exaggerating, but can I just give you a word to the wise?
Yeah.
You shouldn't cork anything using any cork. Cork should not
Well,
be involved. No cork.
Technically, if you've got 2 fingers in there, you can then, after you've done the 2 fingers test, you can then caulk it.
Yeah. Are you saying cock some fingers in there? Because I'm not putting any fingers down there to leave.
You already put your fingers in there.
Uh-huh.
Now it's time to caulk.
What I might do is I might put duct tape over the caulk.
Why?
Because to make so that there's something to stop it from having too much give. I'm putting a
The
taker.
duct tape is going to do nothing to change that. And what are you doing with the 1x1? You told me that there's a 1x1 like protrusion. Are you just going around that?
Well, when I started looking at the 1x1 protrusion, it was not so much a protrusion as it was, and that's where the little gaps have been. They have put some sort of like, it's like drywall consistency to level it out already. And the little holes are holes on that 1x1 protrusion. So if I fill in those little gaps that have
Like it
occurred-
was damaged and they just like plopped some plywood on top of it?
yeah, I guess so.
What's
I mean,
under
these
there?
floors were fucked in the first place. There are parts of my apartment that
No,
you can
they were
peek through.
beautiful. In 1910, they were beautiful, I'm sure.
There
They
are
weren't
parts
fucked
of
in the
my
first
floor
place.
that you could play pokey finger with somebody that was underneath my house. Like you could put your fingers through the floor through the house. Like you can put if there was a snake, it could come through the hole in the bottom of the floor.
Ew. That's my nightmare.
We gotta get to these. This is not video game related content, and it is making me sweat. You're making
Yeah,
me
it's
think I
making us
made
all
bad
sweat.
choices.
Yeah. Well, oh man, I just can't believe you didn't like consult anybody.
Do
Everyone
we?
is so busy.
Call
Everyone's
call
so
Wolferman
busy.
and be like, "Hey, have you ever done floor stuff? Am I gonna destroy my floor?" Or like call somebody that knows what they're doing, or Google it.
I've Googled it a lot, and I watched many videos.
Okay, I'm watching a video on joining baseboards right now. Oh, yeah, you
Well-
get that angle going.
Sounds exciting. Do we have any announcements?
Oh, here's an announcement. Episode 3 of Original Understudies is live. It went live last
Gamefront
night.
related announcements.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
OriginalUnderstudies.com. Episode 1 has Morgan in it.
I
I believe.
I would like to file a
episode-
complaint, please, sir.
Yeah.
I went to listen to Original Understudies last night, and there were only 2 episodes.
Well, last night for you is different than last night for. It's live now. There's a new episode. Out.
Is it on iTunes? On
It should be on
Apple.
everything. It
Okay.
goes up at midnight Pacific Standard Time on Monday.
Excellent. I have a complaint. Where's the next episode of Zach and Mo's podcast? Zach's waiting for the audio.
He's waiting for the audio. He's going to be waiting till the end of the time. No, actually, I'm going to send that to him right now. I just ended up being not at my house all weekend, so yeah.
There. Sorry, James, you were plugging things. Carry on.
Well, it was Original Understudies. The new episode dropped last night at midnight. I'd love everybody to check it out. I think a lot of our listeners will probably like the first episode the most because it's got Morgan in it. But they're all fun episodes. Morgan, I think, is going to be in I think it's the 6th episode. I don't remember which one because you've recorded twice so far, right?
Yeah,
And you're recording again tonight.
maybe.
There is no maybe. You're scheduled. It's stone set in.
Well,
it.
we'll see how
It's not set in
everybody
cock,
acts
it's
during
set
the
in
recordings
stone.
today.
Episode number 3, Captain Crunch Beaches.
Hmm.
It sounds exciting. I've already listened to the first two, so I'll be excited to listen to that tonight with a
Oh,
cup of
thank you, Danny.
cup of cocoa and some
Copa
a
What?
cup of cocoa, chocolate,
A
hot chocolate,
cup of
cocoa,
Oh.
cocoa. This is how we speak up north. I'll have a cup of cocoa and listen to that original understudies.
All right.
Right. Yeah, I've got an announcement.
What's that?
Going to Gamescom in 2 weeks.
Rude.
Nice.
And
How excited are you?
on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably say a 9.5.
Wow, that's pretty exciting.
It's going to be exciting. I know. I'm excited. I've never been to Germany before.
Have you really never been to Germany?
I've never been to Germany. I've never been to Cologne.
Wait,
But it's so close
Where
to
did you
you.
just go?
Oh,
That was
before
in
that was Brighton. I went to Brighton before.
Oh,
Yeah,
for some
yeah.
reason I thought that was the Germany trip.
No, this is Germany. Next one's Germany. But
You've
here's
just gone to Brighton?
Brighton. I know. Well,
not
it's
as
the first
exciting
time
at
I've
all.
been anywhere in 5 years because I mean, I died and then COVID. So I mean,
You picked
small
Brighton for your
steps.
first stop.
I didn't pick Brighton. The UK entertainment in individual thing picked Brighton.
Wow.
No promises because I'm not technically going there for Gamefront, but friend of Gamefront happens to be the guy running the 3D Realms booth. So
Ooh.
I'm going to try and see what I can get video wise to send back
Are
on
they
the
making a
on
new
the
Duke
QT.
Nukem?
Apparently, there's a lot of exciting stuff to show,
Oh, I
but
can't
I don't.
wait.
But I don't know what it is yet. So we'll find out when we get there, won't we? And if we're allowed, point a camera at
Well,
it.
make
We'll
sure to
see,
pack a
we'll see.
banana microphone in your bags.
Oh, I should do. I should buy one of those bananas for scale from because you used a real banana and that's not hygienic. But I should definitely buy a fluffy banana and use a banana microphone. Yeah, I should do that. Yeah, so maybe we'll get something. Maybe not. No promises, but it's exciting times, isn't it?
It is. That is awesome.
Should we do?
How long of a
oh,
trip
no.
is it from Germany to Germany? Isn't I thought it was like a day's drive.
Well, I'm going by train because airports are not good for me in my condition.
Yeah.
So I'm going by the train, and it takes about 6 hours. So get a
Oh,
train.
okay.
Man.
Yeah, Manchester to London, and then from London to Brussels, and then Brussels to Cologne,
Brussels.
and that's but Brussels. So it's about 6 hours. But I'm going first class, so it should be okay.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Does that
Well, it'll
mean you
keep
get
you
your
from
own little
having to
cabin?
So
yeah.
To rub elbows with the riffraff. That's what it'll keep you from.
well, I thought it wasn't that much more expensive on Eurostar
Yeah.
and on the IC, and I was like, you know what, for an extra $150 or whatever it is, and it's going to be 6 hours, I'm going to be comfortable. Thank you. So
Yeah.
I'll be comfortable and I'll get some food given to me. So yeah, that was my thinking.
When I went to San Diego Comic-Con, I got first class train tickets because it was not that much more money, and you got without first class, you just had to find your own seat. So I was getting first class so I could have a designated seat, and I'd have Wi-Fi and this and that. I think riding a train is awesome. I love taking trains.
This one goes under the sea. I've never-
Ooh.
Through the Channel Tunnel. I've never been under the sea before. Apparently it only takes 20 minutes. It's fast, isn't it? You'd think it'd take longer to go across the sea.
Well, the nice thing about the under the sea is there's not many traffic stops that you have to take. There's not many, so you can really get the chugga going.
It's I don't think they use steam trains, but yeah, it's fairly it's fairly direct. It's a
Why, they
straight
got
line.
all that water. They could just pull the water
That's
straight from the sea.
I know it's that's the problem, isn't it? Environmentally wise these days, we're not using the natural resources that have been given to us.
Yeah, like coal and
No,
gas.
Ugh.
you don't have to. The
natural resources that we have access to.
No, but a steam train could be very environmentally
Listen,
friendly because
Manchin's not a bad guy.
because there's different ways to boil water. You could boil it with solar power. You could boil it with nuclear power. You could boil it with all kinds of different things. You don't have to use coal.
Yeah, there's a huge plant outside of Vegas that it has all of these mirrors, and it focuses all of the sun energy to the one point, and they create electricity through a steam engine that way.
There you go. Told you. It's
That's
the
pretty
future.
wild.
Steam is the future. Let's move on. I'm gonna roll the intro. We've gone so far off topic.
We got to get out of here.
This week, the good news is that we've only got like a handful of videos this week, and most of it's Elden Ring. So we'll start with Elden Ring, number 47.
Not to digress already, but I have fixed not Elden Ring, Resident Evil. It is all
Ooh, nice.
modded. It works. It's good. Hopefully there's no controller issues because that might be a completely separate problem. But it is looking good now, finally.
No, that had to be the problem.
I mean, my hope is that was the problem, but until you get in, I've tested and the mod's working and everything. The problem is there is a new version of the mod, and they took all the instructions off online how to put the old mod back on. So when I was trying to follow the instructions, it just simply wasn't there. But Danny, with some sort of time traveling mechanic, I don't know how you did it, Danny, but you were able to pull from the distant past the instructions that I used to install the mod.
Oh,
How did you get
all
that?
of the
Was it the Wayback
Machine?
I just used the Wayback Machine on archive.org. Yeah,
I never really understand how to use that.
Well, you just put in the website you want to load, and then you choose the date, and then it just loads it up as it was on that day.
How does it have all of that stuff saved?
With very, very big hard drives. That's an area of your expertise.
That's pretty cool. Well, thank you. It did the trick. As soon as I had the instructions, it was like, so simple to install.
You are welcome. Bo Sox, 2K1, at 15 minutes and 5 seconds. Now I want a Rocket League foam game. Can you make the next original understudy suggestion / plot? Or can you make that the next original understudy suggestion / plot? Well, he can't because he just released it. But
well, we could do, you know what? Let me take this. If this is a legitimate request, I will use this as today's suggestion. How do I copy this? Let me write a note down. I will make that the suggestion. If that's a legitimate request for an original understudy suggestion, Morgan's recording today. And I will read that, and we'll talk about whatever it inspires us to. Morgan, try to forget that I'm using this as a suggestion.
What is it?
Rocket League phone game.
Danny.
Sorry. Well, I only ask because will your colleagues on the original understudies know what Rocket League is?
Well, that's okay because it's the conversation we have that inspires us. They probably won't know what it is, and that will be the conversation we have that hopefully inspires some legitimately unprepared improv.
Sounds exciting.
All right, so then Bosock says, why the double frost? Which this was a pretty important comment here. I read before today, and it definitely changed the way I approached a video that has probably not come out yet. Why the double frost? The bleed mechanic was great for you and is easily repeated on an enemy, whereas when someone is frostbitten, they are immune for a short time, like poison. I suggest going back to bleed frost again, but your playthrough is your call. And for you, the Hoarfrost Stomp is a great crowd control or single enemy Ash of War that builds up frost. What does Fuyu mean?
I don't know.
Maybe it was a typo. Or does anybody know what that is?
For what it's worth.
Oh, for what it's worth.
Nailed it.
I like that. Did you look it up or did you just guess?
Yeah,
it?
I just looked it up.
Okay.
I have all of the information in the world at my fingertips. Why would I not?
I mean, I guess as a guy that's older than you, I lived in a world where we had to figure things out on our own. And sometimes it was wrong, but sometimes there was beauty in our incorrect translation. You know?
What?
But you youngsters just look it all up and have all the answers right away. Well,
Do
if
you
there's ever a
remember
solar
when
flare...
you had to go to the library to find information?
God, I hated the
Ah.
library, but now they're nice. Now it's nice to visit a vintage library. But when I was a kid, learning the Dewey Decimal System, what bullshit!
Oh
What
man,
a
when I
waste!
first
What a waste of time.
moved to LA, I went to the library in Santa Monica, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look up this book for this thing, and I'm like walking around and walking around and walking around. I was like, where the frick is it? And I stopped some lady, and I'm like, hey, where's the card catalog? And she's like, what? And I was like, the card catalog, so I can find the freaking book I'm looking for. What are you talking about, you psychopath? And she's like, we use computers now. And I was like, oh, my bad. I was like, oh, every library I've ever been to had a card catalog, and you
Yeah.
pawed through it, and you found the book, and then you went and got it.
What year was this?
I mean, early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, to be honest, even in the early 2000s, libraries were still going strongish. Like,
Yeah, I mean, they're still around. The thing is that we wasted so much time in school learning the Dewey Decimal System. They should have put it into play for something else, so it wasn't wasted brain space.
Okay. Putting your obsession with the Dewey Decimal System to one side for a second. All I'm
I hate the
saying-
Dewey Decimal System. For the record, I hate it. It's just that I spent so much time learning it that I'd like to be able to put it to use somewhere.
But it took like 2 seconds to learn it, and then now it's not.
It took
it's
me
like not
years
that
to
information.
learn it. I would get in
What?
trouble for not correctly like labeling it when I would be doing book reports or something. I don't remember. That I might be mixing two different things of like how to
Yeah.
cite my sources along
Yeah, I
with
can
find
see the
my
problem
sources.
already.
But
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead, Danny.
Oh,
I can't remember. I was going to say we still have we have a new library which was only built like 5 years ago, and it's more of a bookstore than a library. It's still a library, but the non-fiction is definitely more prevalent than the fiction, or the other way around. And yeah, they sell a lot of books, and they have a lot of computers and stuff, and it's less like a library that I remember as a kid, where, like you say, you used to find it in the book in the catalog, and then you'd take the book to the librarian, and they'd stamp it with the date you had to bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you didn't bring it back, then they would literally send the FBI to shoot you.
Really?
the American FBI.
The American
American
FBI would come knocking on your door in North Manchester, and they would demand that you return the book, or they would torture you under a spotlight for a week and then shoot you.
You know how much we Americans love books.
It's important stuff. I have an important question. Kamikaze Ice, where in the world is Carmen Elden Ringo? It's a good question. I mean,
Carmen Elden Ringo. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
yeah.
And this next, I don't really understand this next comment from Kamikaze Ice. Morgan ruffled over Blythe pronunciation when it should be about the pronunciation of dynasty. That he
Dynasty.
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 that he joined on his cheese through joke flex. What does that mean?
It's from the stream. You had to be there. 1549. The
Dynasty?
dual wield moveset for rapiers are mostly main hand attacks with a few offhand attacks. The full combo is left, right, right, left, left, and ends with both at the same time. You got that? Left, right.
Okay, so do I? Is
Right,
that
right,
meaning that I hit the left trigger,
Left, right, left.
then hit the right trigger, then hit right trigger 3 times? What is left, right, comma?
Well, it just means left, right, or whatever. Left, right, right.
So does each of
It
those
means
mean
have
I'm
a
tapping
slight.
one-
It means you just put a slight pause between. So you do left, right quickly, and then you pause for a very split second. Then you do right, and then you pause for a split second. Then you do left, right. You pause for a split
I'm
second.
gonna
Then
write
you do
this
left.
down.
Oh my god! It's like the Konami code, isn't it?
Oh my god, is my ink out? LR.
You know, we have these things
we
called
get to the next
computers where you can, put
Yeah.
notes.
R.
FYI, there are still 3 paths in Caria Monor you've not discovered. Hints below. Hint, with incentive. You can find another weapon if you search for a place to jump down near the manor upper level. It's not the direction of the wolves. Hint, one in the direction of the wolves. Hint, one is accessed from a cliffside outside but very near Caria Minor. We'll make an expert explorer of you yet someday. Maybe. Probably not.
Okay, is this something that I can write down simply?
Yeah, you just write down the words that he wrote down. That's how you simply record.
So you know when you're reading and you come across a comma, it means pause. Well, that's exactly what it means here too. It's I don't know how else to describe it.
It's DJ Heaney.
Nice strings says at 10 minutes and 15 seconds. Ah, yes, Great Warrior Nelfi, who helped you beat Megrid. Once you beat the game, is that how you pronounce it? Megrid. Once you beat the game, you should do a retelling of the lore and the game's events as you remember or understand them. Vati has cornered the market for too long. Bring on the Gamefront expert lore. And then,
Really
James, you've got to pick one. And I think that's the plan. Sounds like a fantastic committed response.
Yeah.
Well, hold
but
on
it's
one
not.
second. I'm still writing down all of the hint things.
Nope. Okay, that sounds like that's the plan to me. Sounds good.
Okay.
Moving
Well,
on.
you can come back later.
No,
We
one
got to
more
keep
second.
moving on.
Nope, James has said that's the plan.
James, bring it up on your other monitor, and you can just look at it.
All right. go
Dark
on.
Page, I think maybe, just maybe, if it isn't too confusing for old Heaney, maybe having another rapier with there's the
With
fire,
fire,
Teresa the Frost.
Hmm.
Nick Hanley, potato.
Gotta love it.
Brad Hahn, 3025. Never heard of it, says Morgan of the Shifty Eyes. I'm guessing you used it a lot before the nerf. What is that, the 3025? Oh, it's the Hoarfrost Stomp. But we should see it anyways.
Forgot to set me player up today. Sorry, folks.
It is
you just
pretty
have to
cool.
look at the corner. There.
So it got nerfed, huh?
It's still pretty powerful, but it was like ridiculous. You have like all of the nastiest ones.
And then what
It's
about
gross.
the other one?
Oh yeah, Comic
We're good- we're good on that.
Save
That,
a screenshot.
Yeah, I think everyone's just confused as to why you didn't just copy paste the comment or screenshot the comment. Or...
Because when I'm playing the game, I need to have the notes next to me. So
Well,
I can
you
pull
have
them
two
up.
screens now. Remember?
Yeah, but one of those screens is
Don't,
not for
Danny.
me to be searching the
Danny,
internet.
don't try to help him.
He'll be
He needs
searching
to
the
do it on his own. MW, the amount of
Screens-
misinformation
I've
from
sealed all
Morgan
the
is
cock.
astounding. What misinformation?
That's
I didn't
brutal.
catch any of
Yeah,
it.
that seems. Yeah, that seems unfair. Was MW the guy who ragged on you last week?
I don't know. I think he gets me in a couple more. I think he gets me every video.
Fair enough.
Pelagian.
Did you
Double
guys
frost-
hear about the French scientist that took a picture of chorizo and called it? It's pretty funny. He said it was something from the James Webb Space Telescope. He was just kidding and trying to prove a point of how many people would believe it, but everybody was pretty upset that he was spreading misinformation because, if you're a scientist, you've got to be on, holding the doors of truth. I don't know.
I think it's different when a random no-name like person on Facebook spreads misinformation versus what you consider a trusted source. Then
Very
spreads
trusted source, but
misinformation.
then I thought it was pretty funny. I can understand. I mean, he shouldn't do it, but I can understand
well,
him
I'm-
probably getting a good giggle fit when he shared a picture of chorizo and
Yeah,
called it
yeah.
a picture and had
I
a whole
know.
bunch of people believe it.
It's pretty. It's pretty. If he did he crop it or zoom in? But anyway, if it was literally
Yeah, I
just a
think he
piece of
did,
chorizo,
It's super
But-
zoomed in.
But I think my point is like his experiment's kind of dumb because he's like, oh, I wanted to see how many people believe it. But the point is, you're a known scientist, so people are supposed to believe you. That's the point. Like,
Yeah.
what are you trying to prove?
That's true.
That you
I mean,
like?
it really
that you're,
does look like a slice of chorizo.
How does it? Well,
Yeah, it
I'll
does
have to have
look.
a
It looks.
Do you have a link? No,
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
I mean, the thing is like he shouldn't have done it, and shame on him. But I still, despite all of that, I still think it's kind of funny. I don't
it's-
think it's good, and scientists shouldn't be doing that. But it is kind of funny.
it's hilarious.
Pelagius, Double Frost is not a great option in your case, James, since it scales with intelligence and your character build is for anything but that. Now that scaling does not apply to the Frozen Needle, now that scaling does not apply to the Frozen Needle, so it's all good. As for notion that you need to wait out until you can reapply frost debuff. You can remove it fairly quickly with fire damage. Okay, we've heard that twice now. That sounds good. So you could per se poke an enemy a bunch with cold, then use dragon fire breath, and then go back to poking it. All right, I didn't see that comment before I moved on, but I had made an adjustment.
We did talk about doing fire and ice.
Yeah, and I might give that a shot too. There's no reason I can't. I think I even have an Ash of War for fire now, but I'm not 100% sure.
Jiddu.
Jadoobie.
For some
Installing New California.
Whenever I look at Kamikaze Ice's message that says Heaney screen number 2 is for caulking instructions only, I can't stop laughing.
Yeah, I've had to seal the edges of that with caulk. Of that screen.
Of the screen.
Well, the problem is when I closed my screen, now I can't open it back up. So whatever's on the screen's got to stay there.
Steve the Ghost, nice job, James. Easy to understand and straight to the point.
It was very well structured. It was good.
Don't mess. Yeah, I watched this video. It's very good. Is it gonna change when we roll out V3? Will that mess with how?
Well, that was the conversation we had, but I think yes, we'd have to redo it. I think the idea is this is a test, so when V3 does come out, we would do more of this kind
make
of
a bunch
thing.
of them.
Yeah, it was kind of a test because I wanted to see how, because I was going to install it, and I don't know if we really are supposed to be advertising for it, but ModDB's running, and I don't know if it's over yet, but they're running a basically an award for mod of the year, and it doesn't necessarily have to be new. And New California is one of the mods on there, and I'm a huge fan of that mod. I think it's one of the best ever.
Yeah, that ended in December, but it's good to know
that competition.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
it didn't. There must be a new one because it's live right now. I just voted.
What's it called?
Well, they do mod of the year, but they do it at the end of the year every year. So usually it runs around October time and then ends in December.
Well, let me take a look really quick.
Sure. It doesn't matter, Morgan, that I work there. That's not important.
No.
What's
James
important?
has to see it.
What's important is that James says is that the competition.
It's you know what? It's just a poll. It's just a poll. I thought it was. So, what are the best modern mod of the year winners from 2012 to 2021? So it's not. You're just saying what is the best of the best. I see now. Well, nonetheless, I was excited because I follow the New California on Discord, and they had mentioned that they were in the consideration for it. So I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'll put a vote on that."
Instructions for the Elden Ring co-op mod when? That's a good thought, isn't it?
Elden Ring co-op. There is not a mod for that. It's just in the game, right?
And there is a mod that makes it a better co-op.
Yeah. So you can actually play together through the entire game.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Dark Page, very instructive video. Rhythmic. I appreciate this content. Faithful comment soldiers.
Think so? Good. Do you think so? And then finally, see, rattling through today. Elden Ring, number 48.
Okay, so we've got at the bottom, Elmano Mike says 53-25. The realization that this is going to be over 1,000 deaths starts to sink in. I'm sure there's something on my face at that moment. Then Zachary Bell says it'll probably happen, but also once he hits level 120 plus, he'll have insane damage and will probably just melt bosses, especially with a bleed build. And then Zachary Bell, yup, he is already on that route, but it's Heaney we're talking about here. He'll find a way to make it more difficult than it actually is. Yeah, if I find any cracks, I'm just going to cock it. It'll be A-okay at the game today.
Okay, great. He's discovered cork, and now it's the future of everything. I'm just going to walk around, the walls are corked. His face is corked.
Elmano Mike, 103.35. Evidence that there is some programming skills in there. Clap, clap. Elmano Mike, great episode, guys. Bosox 2K1. Start on your horse and go sideways when the arrows come. Mass summons and make your way up the hill. Those small piles of junk will also block his arrows, and you can also resummon if they die. You got it.
Oh,
Page, don't
I
worry,
didn't know
James.
you
You'll
could
see
resummon.
Monster again and have a chance to fight honorably.
I don't know. They're talking about the dragon, and it's upsetting. Like I feel like I don't want to get into it, but the dragon disappears. I think
Yeah.
that's what Dark Page is talking about. Is there a way to down the dragon so it can't get away?
Wow. Trying to kill a beautiful creature.
I mean, it's fighting me crawling around on the ground. You wouldn't think that it would just fly away afterwards. But anyways, for someone who claims to be a game tester at one point in his life, James is very unobservant. Just got to test to make sure the game boots up. Well, that was when I had got, like, the better you do, you do the smoke test, just booting it up. But you're assigned to a certain task. Like sometimes you get to do what they call ad hoc, just going anywhere you want to test. But you'll usually be given a very specific thing and you stay within your guidelines and write up bugs on that. Like today you're on text and you got to make sure that no text is truncated or goes off the edge or is misspelled. Dark Page. If someone gives up on 1,000 deaths, then so do I. Oh, if James, not just someone, if James gives up.
Yep. I'm not sure what that means. Does that mean that if you say you're not going to do it in under 1,000, then he's not going to watch anymore? Is that what that means?
I don't know, but I think
just
I'm
means
going
he's
to be
not
able
gonna-
to beat it in 1,000.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Even though in this video you definitely say that you're not going to.
I was pretty defeated in this video. I think I died 20 times within like 10 minutes.
King of Kings, use whatever you can to beat this effing game. You're gonna need it. Red Han, if it isn't cheating, then it's fair game. King of Kings, you can summon the patches and company infinite. So just resummoning, it's good
Good to
news. Zachary Bell, the game is balanced around summons and they take FP. There's no problem using them, James, but Mimic Tier and Rot will beat every boss. Also, the Flaming Strike Ash of War you got is great. Not sure if you know, but some have follow-up attacks. Ash, Light Attack, Flaming Strike is a combo, and weapon buff. James starting by putting himself into performance mode.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you mean to cut that section out or not, but it's all in there. So
I don't know. Usually I do leave stuff in the beginning, but I don't know. I might have left more than usual.
Ice, James be like, I won't use this thing. I don't have because it makes me OP because I somehow know how strong it is without ever trying it, but I can't try it because it's OP and I know it's OP because I've never had or tried it because it's OP.
sounds logical to me.
Mm-hmm. James to Blythe. I didn't know you asked me to go somewhere last time we spoke, just a few episodes ago, because I didn't write down what you said about where to go because you're unimportant.
That sounds hurtful.
Do you feel that way about Blythe?
No. He's a very tall wolf man. He's important.
Yeah. 40-55. James gets accused of stalling and proceeds full steam ahead. Can we see that?
Uh-huh. This is bad.
I think you just gotta. You've been stalling for so long.
I'm scared. What?
That's pretty good.
You love to see it.
It's just ridiculous.
Patches doesn't last long because he just goes home without fighting. He's smart. Kamikaze Ice, I like how the death counter became Mr. Negative. Can't wait. Pill. Redun dun dun. Dying.
Dun.
Done.
I thought it was dun dun dun.
Oh, that's
That's what it
probably
is.
right, actually. Yeah.
Dying. Doing a
I
great job,
mean-
James. Frankly, I'd say as long as it's not excruciatingly boring or counterproductive, I'm fine with whatever you use, James. Rip and tear until it's done. Love the ending. Something that might help is pay attention to debris in the field. You can use them to block the powered up arrows from the boss. It's not a James-proof method, though.
Yeah.
What's that? 103.55.
I don't know what that ending is.
gonna watch it.
Where is he?
Oh yeah, when you got completely confused and then you just died. I remember that.
Where was he?
You were doing very well up until then.
Yeah, his first run against him was actually really good. Steve T, I love how Patches just nopes out of the fight against Radon. Steve T, you have to watch this guy when Radon disappears. He turns into a meteor, and it's it's a really cool moment. That's what killed you in the last run, James.
Ugh, I wish I would have known that. That
Well,
would
you
have
were
been.
never
I
looking at him when he jumped up.
No, I didn't. Well, that makes sense now that this is said, but this comment I did not read until just now.
Well, it seems like one of those things Souls games do, whereby until you've done it the first time, it's always going to kill you because you don't know about it. So you have to die to it once to learn about it. To then they call it artificial difficulty. That's going to rile some feathers.
That is pretty artificial difficulty. I like that. I've never heard that phrase. Snarly Cheese. Don't let your frustration overcome you, James. You just got to work on your timing. Use the objects on the battlefield for protection from his focus shoots. Use your goat horse for the rest of the shoots. The secret boss is much harder than Radon because of her stupid mechanic. Everybody wants to see you fight her, so hurry up and whoop Radon's ass. Canadian Kid 93. Why are you telling him not to heal after he gets hit with one arrow? You're just going to die and have to walk back, wasting your own time.
The
Why are you not
clarification
telling him
says
to heal?
telling him to heal after he gets hit.
Why
with
are
one
you
arrow.
not telling him to heal after he gets hit with one arrow?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I won't be responsible for telling James to heal every time he needs to heal. It's just not gonna
Alright.
happen.
You might as
He
well
was
be
doing it
pushing the buttons
sometimes.
for him, telling him to press X, press square, press Y.
Yeah.
Don't know
It's too
why
much.
I mixed my Xbox and PlayStation controllers there, but moving.
My old
swiftly
friend MW, I wish Morgan would actually watch James rather than just reading the internet or just being distracted every episode lately.
on. Wow, got him.
Kind of
Yeah.
like to get like a VR helmet that just like. Have you seen Clockwork Orange?
Yeah.
I want to get like this thing that keeps your eyes. I just feel like if you were just looking at the screen all the time, it would be really helpful for me. And
I
it
mean,
would be
I don't know
helpful
what
if
it
you
would
didn't
do.
blink either. I don't know.
I think that part of the problem is that
Raise
if I'm not like looking stuff up or like whatever, then I'm watching every single move you make, and then I start like micromanaging you, and then it becomes frustrating, and then no one's having a good time. I thought I was finding a great balance, but apparently, still
Well,
working on
I
it.
don't know. I still think we should consider getting one of those Clockwork Orange helmets for you.
I mean, I'll watch you moment for moment if we need to.
But would you wear a Clockwork Orange helmet?
No, I think you're thinking of that Mel Gibson conspiracy movie.
No, Danny. Do you know what I'm talking about? Clockwork Orange, where they're watching the movies. I don't think Morgan. I don't
No.
think you've ever seen Clockwork Orange.
I've seen it.
There's the one part where they're brainwashing him, and he has like there's like claws that are keeping his eyes open, and he's just like seizuring watching the most violent stuff.
So you mean this, right? Well, you can't see it, but it's basically the hat with the
Yes, just by you saying the hat, then yeah,
we're basically using tweezers to pull his eye.
to keep
open.
his exactly.
Yeah.
I think that if you could just maybe get one on Amazon, ship it to Morgan, and you could wear that when we do videos.
I mean, I think there's health and safety
Oh, in
implications,
conspiracy
to be
theory,
honest.
they tape the eyes open.
Yeah, same concept, isn't it? Tape's probably safer, to be fair.
Yeah.
Than this contraption.
The eye speculum. Yeah.
But then, forcing him to just stare and watch James play Elden Ring is surely like a,
Torture.
breach of the Geneva Convention. Like there's certain things you've got to think about when you run a business, and the Geneva Convention is one of them.
Have you seen that Mikey has come into the comments to defend me from MW and calls for his banning?
Mikey's coming
Which
in
I-
hot.
I gotta say,
Wow.
we should probably ban that guy.
Oh, we should ban him. Yeah, we should definitely ban him. I think we should.
No, don't ban him.
Mikhail
Don't ban
Rose. continues to die over and over trying to summon help for the fight, maybe try to find some courage and maybe just try to fight him yourself.
That's very contradictory to the advice of your good friend King of Kings down here. You see?
But what's so funny is I think each hold an equal wealth of knowledge. I think both could have been useful. What I think I needed to do is just get better timing and not really rely on those guys so much. They're not bad, but like I was so hung up. I guess I was just tilted. I couldn't get the timing right, and it was really frustrating. And there's no excuse.
I recently beat him with no summons, but the first time that I played him, I cheesed him hard with a lot of summons. Yeah.
40-58. You gotta love James, man. Thank God.
Let's see what that is.
Him. I don't know. Can't be that good.
Oh, it's just this again. Got him.
Got him.
And then finally this week, Danger Dad says, love that they have no problem saying Slave Knight Gale's name correctly. But they pronounced Khalid differently. Even though it's spelled with the same A. Khalid. Gale?
Khalid.
It's all
Khalid.
Welsh. Why is Elden Ring Welsh? That's what I don't understand. Some like these Welsh names,
George
Welsh
R.R.
voice actors.
Is George R. R. Martin Welsh?
Is he Welsh?
I
didn't even know he was Welsh. Is George R. R. Martin Welsh?
No, he's American. But maybe his ancestry is Welsh?
Well, that's no good reason to be speaking Welsh. Like no one should be speaking Welsh except the Welsh. And that's only because they'll get angry if you tell them not to. I mean...
He's Irish and Italian.
He's Irish Italian and he's speaking Welsh. No, it's just Welsh for reasons. Does anyone know why Elden Ring's so Welsh? That's your homework for this week, folks. I want to know why Elden Ring is so Welsh.
So I've heard Elden Ring has a bunch of Welsh people in it.
No, it's got a load of Welsh names in it as well. Like all of these names are Welsh. Blythe is Welsh. Like all these names he just said were Welsh. It's all Welsh.
Maybe you should make a lore video about it, Danny.
Maybe I could go to Wales and make a lore video about why Elden Ring is Welsh in Wales.
I heard they have golden trees in Wales.
Nah, it's just like normal trees. Did they have, like the big golden tree in the middle of Elden Ring? Apparently someone...
In the middle of Wales.
In the middle of Wales. Apparently someone made a mod to take the big golden tree out. Because apparently the closer you get to the big golden tree, the more your frame rate begins to die until eventually it becomes borderline unplayable. I don't know if he has like a lower spec. But anyway, apparently if you just chop the tree down, then you just get a nice frame rate all the way through. And apparently that helps you in the later stages of the game. Arguably, that's also cheating.
You just remove it altogether?
It's just a mod that removes it from the game. Apparently, if you remove it, the frame rate doesn't dip. It does look sick, but apparently it hurts the frame rate a lot.
Well, we were able to get through today's fan mail pretty quickly. I don't know. Next week, I'm thinking there's going to be a couple more videos. Morgan and I are going to crush some Resident Evil today. Now that we had to take a break from it for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. We're hot to trot.
Hot to trot. I cannot wait. I think we're going to beat it today.
What did the Welsh people do to me? Well, I'll tell you, the Welsh and the English famously rivals, you see. The Welsh don't like me, and I don't like the Welsh. That's just how I...
Wow. Why does all of the UK just hate each other?
It's true. The Scottish hate us. I love the Scottish, though. Can't get enough Scotland.
They still hate you, though.
But the Scottish hate me.
Irish are cool with you guys, though, right? Depends whereabouts you are in Ireland and who you're talking to. It's a flip of a coin with Ireland, I'll be honest. Northern Ireland, probably fine. Republic of Ireland, still probably fine, but it depends on where you are and who you talk to. I mean, it's, and then everybody is an equal hatred of Liverpool.
It's just it's the North hate the South and the South hate the North. It's just how it is.
Wow, that's sad.
Did we ban the
Can't we all
NW
just
guy
get
yet?
along?
Not yet. Can we-
Soon.
Oh,
We're gonna do it.
but the United Kingdom as a whole is joined in its hatred of the French. So that's the main thing, you see. So there's always that common cause to unite your people in the time of crisis. The hatred of the French. And the French hate us. So it's a European-wide thing, really.
Well, that's
And-
the more you know. The more you know.
And
Ooh, I think Ice is onto something. He's saying
And-
the MW kind of looks like the initials for Mad Mikey if you twist one. Sus.
Oh,
yeah, it's funny. And it is weird that Mikey's suddenly rushing into your defense. Maybe he's contrived the whole situation to get in your good books.
And I just looked it up. The account's only been around since 2020 and has no other interactions on it. I think it's just a troll account.
Oh, really? It's a real troll account. I probably shouldn't look at it up on the stream. But,
Witch hunt.
I'll transition away from
No.
that. But
Negative comments are fine. It's fine. If that's the way he feels, it's the way he feels. It's what it is.
it's water off a backstock.
I'll think about it for the next 10 years, but see, look, there's nothing.
This channel doesn't have any content. This channel has no videos. This channel has no playlist. This channel doesn't feature any other channels, and they have no about. I don't know. A lot of people are like that. They just consume content rather than create.
No, man, Mikey B, don't ban him. He enjoys the videos. He just hate watching it. That's fine. I respect that.
Yeah, he loves the videos. He just doesn't like Morgan. That's
Yeah.
water off a cork duck's back. Exactly.
Wait, did the video that went up on how are we so far behind? I thought that there was going to be one more video today.
There's only 2 Elden Rings and the New California video. That's all we had last week. But there is a third.
I have another announcement. You guys are in for a treat when this one goes live.
There's a new Elden Ring coming up soon. It's already on the Patreons if you're on the frontliners or above. But yeah, James has a special guest, I believe, next time.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear about this, Morgan?
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh, you did. Good for you.
Yeah, I thought we would talk about it offline.
Yeah, I mean, it would be more appropriate online. I mean, offline. Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to air our dirty laundry.
Mhm.
All right, bye, guys.